911, what's your emergency?
Hey, I'm a bus driver and one of my students just passed me a note that says his mother needs help and that his dad is hurting her.
Okay, do you have an address?
Yeah, they live on, it's the first house when you turn into the neighborhood.
Okay, officers are being dispatched now. Can you stay with the child until law enforcement arrives?
Yeah, so I'm just parked outside the neighborhood. I'll stay here.
This is what the Las Cruces Police Department were informed of on April 23rd, 2020.
Oh, bootleg ad computer. I just realized, I mean, not really, now that I look at it. I guess that's just the application they use, but...
Just the night before, Veronica had endured 12 hours of what could only be described as a living hell, all because of her abusive boyfriend, Eric Alvarado. At this point, fearing for her and her children's life, the main thing on her mind was to call the police. But Eric had confiscated her phone and refused to let her leave his sight. However, Eric and Veronica's son still had to go to school. This gave Veronica an idea that would save her and her family's life.
Dr. Insanity, if you don't know him, give him a follow.
Can you explain to me what's going on today?
Last night he was taking me a lot.
He was shaking you?
And stuff with the pillows.
Okay.
He picked me up. He got my head against the cabinet, and then he's sleeping on top of here. And then my kids were screaming and crying. And he said that he was either I die or he's gonna have a shot with you guys.
Veronica is clearly distressed and just thankful that the cops are here to save her. In fear of her life, she wrote a note behind Eric's back saying that she was in danger and to call 911. She passed this note to her kids in hopes someone from their school would call the police. The note was given to a bus driver who immediately called the Las Cruces Police Department. The cops need to know exactly what happened. Veronica just told them that Eric would have a shootout with the cops if they came, so they know they're dealing with someone either dangerous or delusional, something they would quickly find out.
Were you trying to get away from him, or what happened?
I just started doing whatever he asked me. He would even tell me to follow him to the bathroom when he needed the bathroom. He would make me pick up the seat for him.
Okay.
He said, "Are you gonna let me do it?" And then I was just like, "Well, neither." And then but I was crying for my mom. He said, "You really think I would do that?"
You didn't try to get out, and he didn't forcefully try to keep you
I was
from leaving or
like,
anything like that?
I've tried before, and it never works, so I just did.
I understand that, bro, most of the time, because, like, I get it, you know, but we gotta figure out a way to get these women out of these situations. Like, leave, like, I don't get it, like, why, first off, if he was beating you anyways, why would you have kids with him? Like, if you were out there and you were getting beat, seek help, seriously. This ain't no joke. Like, something has to be done, because I've seen way too many of these videos, and it's just like, they're always like, I try to get out. Well, we gotta do better. We gotta do better. I don't know if it's like us not noticing the signs or what, but damn, this shit's sad, bro.
Quietly, and I stayed up on the bed. I rolled his bed to try to get away, and he would just pull me closer and hug me.
Okay.
But I didn't have a phone to call you guys, so I just only.
What happened to your phone?
He has it. But he always takes it because he knows that I'm gonna call the cops.
Okay, so the marks on your face, is that from him, or?
Mm-hmm.
Who is that?
Okay.
Is that him?
And then
I know where
Listen to exactly what Veronica is saying. It's obvious that this isn't just a one-time thing. She's using phrases like, "I've tried before and it never works," implying that she'd almost given up trying to escape him. This is known as learned helplessness, a condition where an abused person starts to believe that they're powerless to save themselves because of the repeated abuse and perceived lack of control. unusual. Unfortunately, it's more common than you might think. On average, it takes 7 tries for a victim to escape their abuser, and every single one of these failed attempts would start to make them feel more and more powerless, as though control of their life is slowly slipping away. Given that Veronica has a 5-year-old son with Eric, the abuse might have been going on for years, with her essentially resigning her fate to his violence and manipulation. If that's the case, then her son's actions should be even more celebrated, finally freeing his own mother from a relentless cycle of abuse.
Can you explain to me what happened first yesterday?
We were arguing. He was just more frustrated because he was yelling at the kids, and then started to get upset with me. He got upset because I didn't cook, grabbed himself something to eat, and he told me to cook up bitch and give it to him, but it's because I had the baby in the bed and I laid down. She was getting upset every time I walked out.
Okay.
And then so I came in here all mad talking shit, and I was right there by the microwave, and I slammed it to close it because he had his food in there. I was going to heat it up, and he told me to shut up, and then he got up and pulled me from my hair and pushed my head toward the cabinet in my head, like when like that, and that's why it's all way right here. When like that, and my eyebrow hit right here.
Veronica continued to tell the officer about that night's abuse, how he choked her, threw her around, and grabbed hold of her so hard that she couldn't force his hand away to save herself.
Yeah, I was holding onto his arm, but he lifted me up because he's so strong. He lifted me up and he slammed me on the counter. My kids were crying at the same time. My oldest son came out.
What did you feel when he grabbed your neck?
I don't know, like I was like trying to fight to get it off, and then all of a sudden, like my body just started feeling weak.
Feeling weak?
Yeah, and I just I felt like I was underwater and I couldn't breathe. And I was just like trying to calm him down, like, oh baby, I love you, please stop, this is not. But I was just like, because I already know how he is.
Directly after being choked almost to death, she's still pleading with him and telling him that she loves him. Obviously, it can't be discounted that this was just an act to get him to stop. But again, this is a very common reaction. Eric has likely used either love bombing or intermittent reinforcement to manipulate Veronica. Love bombing involves initially showering the victim with affection and attention, forming attachment quickly. And intermittent reinforcement involves quickly alternating between kindness and cruelty. Both of these create a powerful emotional bond and dependency on the abuser, making it much harder to leave, despite making her feel like this.
Are you scared or die? And I'm like, yes. He's like, how does it feel? Because you almost died. And I was just like, if it just hurts, it's painful. He's like, why are you scared to die? Like, and then I said, because my kids.
But the last little piece of information the cops get might just be the most important one, and unravel why tonight's abuse got so out of hand.
From PTSD, depression.
And he hasn't took his medication.
Bipolar depression and...
Yes, and he takes so much drugs. He has anxiety, bipolar.
Yeah. So the only thing that set him off was the whole him not having food ready and all that?
No, it was the kids. He was yelling at my son. And that if anything gets him upset, he gets really, really upset.
Apparently, Eric suffers from PTSD, depression, anxiety, and bipolar. He's supposed to take a litany of meds to keep him stable, but that night, he hadn't taken any of them. Of course, this isn't an excuse for his behavior, nor is it to be assumed that many bipolar people would ever act in this manner, but it could be a possible explanation for the severe and continued abuse.
How long have you been with him?
On and off for 7 years. There's a time when he sent me to the hospital, but I didn't first try.
So you never...
I felt bad because he always calls me. He's just like, I'm sorry, this is that.
So
I'm a sick man.
Has he ever been charged with domestic or anything like that? He has? In Las Cruces or New Mexico?
With his ex-girlfriend.
Okay, but not with you?
Yeah. A lot of times I drop the charges because I feel bad.
Eric is clearly dangerous and needs to be locked up, but that all depends on if Veronica is going to press charges this time or let herself be manipulated out of it again. But before she can even make that decision, the other cop comes into the room and lets them know that they need EMTs on the scene immediately.
When you were standing up and you started... I don't know if he was making him do himself. Is that normal for him?
He gets like that when he's really upset. and he's not acting in an angry way. He does that, and sometimes like he'll fall on me, and like I can't pick him up.
Oh, okay.
So panic attacks are normal for him?
He's been out eating all week.
She says he has knives in the drawer, so.
It seems as though Eric has had a panic attack and needs help from a medic. The thing is, the cops can't be sure if this is a genuine reaction or another way to try and guilt and manipulate Veronica, but either way, they get the fire department on the scene to check him out.
Does he need to go to the hospital, boys?
He's wanting to go.
Oh, he's wanting to go? What do you think?
We're trying to just take the blood pressure, that's about it. His oxygen's good right now, it's at 98%. Heart rate's fine, a little elevated at 98, but nothing crazy.
Do you take your medications for PTSD and the depression?
No what?
Do you take medications for it?
Yes.
Are you current on your medications? So we always recommend heading up to the hospital, especially because he has like PTSD, bipolar depression.
Medically, everything seems fine with Eric, but they still decide to take him to the hospital temporarily at his request. In the meantime, Veronica is now curious about the rest of the process and has made a decision on if she's going to press charges.
He bonds himself out.
Okay.
And he told me that I'm starting to remember a little bit. It's like, I didn't think I'm gonna be that long in fucking jail. I get bonded up real fucking quick.
So I know you said you want a restraining order, so we'll work on getting that. Usually it's going to be an emergency restraining order.
Would I be able to press charges on him?
So in situations like this, it's up to the state to pursue charges. So usually we go through with, no matter if we have charges, we're gonna go through with the charges whether you want to or not.
I should have pressed charges when I couldn't even open my eyes.
Emergency restraining orders are common in cases of domestic violence, especially where there's children involved. Courts are often available 24/7 for the filing of these, and in open and shut cases like these, they'll usually get approved on the same day. That means that Eric physically won't be allowed near Veronica, her kids, and likely their home unless he goes through a rigorous legal procedure. But it turns
people can't drink under 21. Come on.
out that might not even matter, as it looks like he's heading straight to jail.
It is going to be a 48 for him. He's going to be cleared already.
As long as he's clear, he should be fine then. It's going to bring me the ERO.
So, hey, can I get a district court judge for the ERO?
Cool. From this point, the officer fills out the restraining order and takes care of some other paperwork and investigation around the house. But the day isn't over for Eric yet. Far from it. He was taken to the hospital, but as the officer figured, he was discharged almost as soon as he got there. That meant that it was his turn in the spotlight, and he was handed over to the police, who were going to make sure that he got exactly what he deserved.
Stand up, face me. Turn around for this officer. Turn around for him, bro. Oh, there you go.
What is bro doing?
Yes, bro. Alright, bud. Well, before we take you in, alright, you're gonna be placed under arrest, okay? CID is the one that are gonna take you the charges. Unfortunately, I don't know them. But you are gonna be served a
Emergency restraining order.
I would suggest not contacting her, writing her, going to the house, none of that.
As the officer mentioned, the case was handed over to CID, or the Criminal Investigation Division. In even simpler terms, the detectives. Usually a case is passed over the CID if the crimes were particularly severe, or if it requires the specific resources or skills the CID have. In this case, it's very likely the chronic abuse and psychological manipulation that warranted their intervention. As to truly unpack what happened here, it would require an expert to dig deep and use their skills to figure everything out. That's why less than an hour after he was released from the hospital, he was sat face to face with a detective that was about to grill him for his side of the story. Unfortunately, Eric didn't exactly make that easy, and it ended with him back in handcuffs and on his way to a cell.
Eric, I'm Detective Bardo with the Las Cruces Police Department. How you doing? What happened last night? Okay, so you're here for a reason, and I'm here with you for a reason, and that's to get your side story. If you're gonna tell me nothing, I'm gonna go ahead and leave and proceed my investigation. So right now, this is your chance to
What am I being charged with?
I'm not there yet, but I'm in an investigation. I'm investigating you.
I don't feel good, man.
Okay.
I want to go.
All right. I'm gonna take you back to the holding cell, okay? So the last thing that I need to do was get your side of the story. Since you're not gonna give that to me, I'm gonna go ahead and charge you with 3 counts of aggravated battery on a household member. 2 of them are strangulation. The other one's gonna be suffocation. 2 of them be suffocation. One's gonna be strangulation. battering a household member, and also deprivation of property of a household member. 3 of the 5 are going to be felonies. Okay?
What? Why are they felonies? What did I do that?
3 felonies.
Why?
Do you want to talk to me about it?
But like, what did I do? What did you say?
I know you were there.
I didn't.
You were there.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing, bro.
Okay.
I did nothing
Then
for
stay
her.
with that. Stay with that story.
I want to know what the
I'm not going to
felonies
tell you
are.
anything because you don't want to tell me anything.
As it turned out, Eric would only be charged with 2 counts of aggravated battery of a household member, 1 count of battery against a household member, and deprivation of property. And with Eric safely in cuffs and in a holding cell, the police had only one more job to do to put Veronica's mind at ease.
Hello?
May I speak to Veronica, please?
This is her. Yes?
Okay, just real quick, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to go ahead and charge Eric. He's going to have 3 felonies, which is going to be aggravated battery on a household member. 2 of them are strangulation. 1's going to be strangulation. The other one's going to be battery on a household member, and the other one's deprivation of property of a household member. So another thing, I'm asking the officer to call a Sky report to CYFD. Because of what he exposed the children to. They'll probably just reach out to you, ask to see the conditions of the house, make sure that they're suitable for the children.
I know because of what happened, but then at the same time, I don't know how to say this. I accept what you're doing, but there won't be any way he can see his kids.
There will be, but it's got to be in different terms now. The way you guys had it, it obviously didn't work because look what he's exposing the children to.
You want to give your kids back to the nigga that beat you? The victim mentality here is crazy, bro. What the fuck, all that?
As of July 2024, Eric Alvarado is still awaiting sentencing and is being held without bond. However, based on his charges and history, it's estimated he'll likely spend up to 8 years behind bars. With intervention and checks by CPS, the children will also receive treatment and care for any trauma or abuse caused by their father, and Veronica will finally be free of the horrific treatment caused by her evil husband. And remember, none of this would have happened if not for what Veronica's 5-year-old son did that morning, being brave and strong enough to reach out to save his mom, changing his whole family's lives in one heartwarming and heroic move.
Fuck the dad.